Not gonna mess about. If you love the channel, you enjoy the video, or maybe you're brand new, I could really use any and all support on my Patreon. Ad revenue is terrible, I offer lots in return, so please consider checking it out at the top of the video's description, and hopefully I'll be blessed enough to see you over there, helping to keep me on YouTube. Thanks so much. Makes for such an intriguing start to an episode when you see a modern looking navy and then suddenly swords and shields. The fact that didn't look like they went all CGI with these bad boys. We'll avoid showing it, otherwise YouTube will deduct what little revenue they do see fit to give me nowadays, but pretty gnarly looking scene. Those hands weren't messing about. Not gonna fib, when you see things being so dire and some guy comes in swinging and saves someone, feels like a weight got lifted off my chest. That was a straight up gorgeous looking spell mixed with hand done animation too on the wounds. Nice! This dude coming in like a frickin' wrecking ball, let's go! Also though, main from Cyberpunk Edge Runners, covered that too by the by. Lastly, some cracking good animation and CGI mixing there. Assuming it was CGI on the magic, not 100% sure, but all looking smooth as anything. Before I forget, take one for going without an OP this episode too for a longer one. Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen and Fugo from Part 5 of JoJo. Honestly, if this is what the quality of battles is going to be like, I can see myself dishing out a lot of wins, because this is so far up my alley it practically leads straight to my house. Max wins! Okay, that gets another win for utterly destroying it, but what I wanted to say is it's a great mixture thus far of continuous motion shots, not cutting away, and tons of kinetic animation. Top notch! That right there is a modern anime capturing great visuals when using CGI. Awesome looking art style change like it was ripped right out of the manhwa! Kakawin from JoJo! Showing off that awesome sounding music that for me perfectly matched the tone of the battle raging around them. Animating multiple characters all moving within one scene like it's no big deal. I like the idea. It's kind of like had Gate had people with special abilities to fight what was on the other side, and had what was on the other side being tougher and not medieval. Basically nicely setting up the story with minimal exposition. We know the ranks, we know you gotta work together or you won't get anywhere, hence solo leveling being a weird concept. Really stunning looking panning shot of the city. To their credit, they really didn't use a lot of CGI here either. Real unique looking art style to start off. Reminds me a bit of JoJo with Kim's face detail and a touch of Steins Gate on the other lad. Richter from Furen. The new Isaac Netero's voice from Hunter x Hunter. That right there is what I like to call, as mentioned before, a continuous motion shot where the camera never seems to pan away from the action. It's more difficult to animate, but looks real good. In the same vein as Goblin Slayer, but not just the obvious reason of it looking like goblins, it kind of shocks you into an understanding of how someone weaker can seriously risk the group. Half the win is because they really lean into their rating with all the internal red body juices everywhere, and the other half is because there's a real tint of Code Geass animation too. I like it. Pretty easy to digest information regarding why they're doing these raids and collecting the stones from their foes. Saitama from One Punch Man.
原子力よりも安全で、水力、風力、地熱よりも効率が良く、火力のように大気を汚すこともない。
I like the dual use of these, let's call them gems. They use them for building powerful weapons and gear. The government wants them as a clean source of energy.
すみません。
謝ってほしくて言ってるんじゃありません。心配なんです。
Nice introduction with this girl who clearly, maybe, has some feelings of sorts for him. And I must say, even early on, the voice actress did a good job of relaying that.
さんが失踪して家族の中で働けるのは俺だけ。母さんの治療費がいる。大学受験を控えた妹もいる。
It's really decent how this information is only now being revealed kinda in passing, rather than it all being mentioned as soon as his screen time first came about. Dude, what an insanely cool character introduction that was! Really well choreographed too. Kawaii! Doing some real nice animation from a distance there. Very smooth and high quality stuff. Damn! Seriously awesome getting to see what an S-rank hunter is able to do. Also though, method from Firen.
私がかろうじて治療したっていうのに正気じゃないわ。頭でもぶつけたんじゃないですか。そうなんでしょう。それなら今度お詫びに何かごちそうになっちゃう。
It's a small thing, but it did help me to understand that seemingly there's no barriers between the ranks. She's rank B and he's way lower, yet still she cares for him clearly this much.
生き延びるためにはたった一つ。臆病でいてください。
Awesome way of doing foreshadowing is clearly they're gonna come across something so much worse and stronger than they think they're going to. Really cool RPG vibe to this place, reminds me of a dungeon in Skyrim or The Witcher 3 or something. I like how it's countered by the real world outside too.
そこから離れろ少なくとも E 級の俺より強いに決まってる。
Great looking animation on these stone looking statues. They did something similar recently in Firen.
それなのに一瞬でおかしいだろ。ここは D 級ダンジョンなんだ。
Take one here too for this great song, seriously reminding me of tunes from the fantastic Kill the Kill too.
それでも生き延びるため隙を伺い、注意深く周りを観察しながら。
Decent scene here, essentially revealing what makes the main character different. That being his knack for staying alive in difficult situations, although he did say to go further into the dungeon, not smart. However, in fairness to the last twin, perhaps it's more about this, his ability to see something deadly coming in the moment, rather than sense the future or anything weird like that. Several seriously good instances of voice acting that I just had to show. They take this stuff so seriously, I love it. Nice initial ED song, not sure if it'll be the OP or ED song in the end, but I dig it. I dug it.
本当は樹脂さんに頼めればよいのだが、彼女は心が弱い。
Half the win is the realism behind her basically mentally checking out here, and the other half is the gnarly display of violence these two episodes. Dude lost an arm! This basic intro doing its job and laying out all of the important facts about this story. That's a very rare OP, where from the get-go I'm like, yeah, that's get max wins. The song is very good, but the visuals, my god, they blew me away from start to finish. Stunningly good looking. Modern anime are really exciting me with their ability to use CGI effects properly. I mean, that looked sick. Won't show it, but how the dude got taken out, it wasn't even tough. Oh, that's so tense and sick and also clever. The music reminded me of Attack on Titan 2. Let's go! That was equal parts cool as the lights went out in its eyes, and also weirdly creepy with that smile. Credit to the studio, and of course the animators mainly, for doing what I often praise in One Piece, that being remembering where every character is placed and where all the damage is. Another very brief kawaii. Okay, the animation on that is genuinely stunning as anything. I mean, look at it.
世に秩序をもたらす支配者よ。
So well done to add an insane amount of tension into this scene as he chants the wrong phrases to appease this god and instead uses something from the real world. Man, it's tense! Great and smooth looking running sequence! But also, it's good, I think, to touch on a personal life like this. Makes it hit more if something happens to him, giving him something to truly fight for in this moment. And that is exactly what I was talking about. Dear Lord, it's so damn good though, isn't it? What a fantastic puzzle to this dungeon. And of course it's so bloody and scary and everything else. But when something's figured out, woo! Seeing what I think is a very genuine and realistic action from someone going through this. Says so much about him, and it's all good that he left her there to be safe and then went off in search of another statue. Oh my goodness, that last second dodge out of the way though! Jesus, that is hands down one of the best things I've seen in anime in forever. Him fighting to stay alive, their reactions, the building tension, and then the beautiful song of safety. Max wins!
もう大丈夫なので。
Seeing that he lost a leg essentially in that last round, that came as a shock too, but I did have a feeling, but it makes you wonder what will happen now. Also won't show it in case YouTube removes what little revenue I do make, but right after this, she struggles so much to heal him that blood begins to come from her eyes. And now as the third and final trial comes about, they begin to point blame, or rather him who drew the sword has anyway, and once more the tension rises like crazy.
いわゆるダンジョンブレイクだ。そうなると、モンスターがゲートの外に出てしまう。
See, now that I like. They mentioned a dungeon break prior to now, but didn't say what it was. Now we know it's when a dungeon is open for 7 days and not beaten, monsters pour through. Obviously it's nice that she visits her mother every day, but the win is due to the subtle facial reaction prior to entering. I'm a big fan of little things like that. Oh, it's so good and so stupidly tense, and if anyone is like me and loves that song playing, please let me know what it is. I'm obsessed with it.
子供の頃やってた遊びと同じ原理です。みんな石像から目を離さないで。
ソン君、どうなっているんだ。
少し扉が閉まったけど、あの人助かったぞ。
This dude is so freaking smart, get out of here! Oh my goodness, it's so damn good, but that music is out of this world for this scene. Give a raise to whoever came up with that song and using it here.
青い炎はタイマーです。全部消えるとき、全員助かるはずです。
Oh, it's so clever, and I'm legit falling in love with this anime already at just episode 2. No wonder it's so popular.
だがな、俺にだって家族がいる。まだ死にたくねえんだよ。
生き残るんだ絶対に。今までもそうやって命を繋いできたじゃないか。
The biggest of props for pretty much every single voice actor who took part in this amazing scene. They really knocked it out of the park.
ダメです、ジヌさん。それなら私が。
食事をご馳走する約束でしたよね。
Already 2 episodes in, he's proven himself to be an absolute legend in my eyes, and a small part of the win is the realism behind keeping his eyes off of her and on the statues here.
すまない。もう本当に時間がなさそうだからな。
I like that. You gotta do what you gotta do in that moment.
せめて一体くらい道連れにしてやる。かかってこい。
Not that I think he'd be able to do that, but just as in win number 79, it doesn't half make me think so highly of him.
俺だってもっと強くなりたかった。でもなれなかった。
Color me extremely shocked that things are turning out like this, and arm gone off. To his credit, he stopped the first blow impressively, and now crushed. I don't even know, but Max wins.
そんなのみんな同じなのに、結局は自分を正当化してるだけじゃないか。俺にだって家族がいる。俺だって生きて帰りたい。
This guy hasn't done any work I personally know of, and yet his voice acting is absolutely brilliant here. I truly hope he gets tons more work off the back of his excellent performance. This great looking shot. So good. I mean, seriously, such a great episode. I'm blown away. One of those EDs that just easily saunters into Max Wins due to truly going the extra mile with not just the song, but legit great, unique looking visuals from start to finish too. Top notch stuff. Awesome start to the episode, mystery abounds. Shigaraki from My Hero and the main character from all 4 Trails of Cold Steel games.
ソン・チオルハンターは片腕を失ったため引退を余儀なくされるかもしれませんし、イ・ジュヒハンターは精神的ショックが大きく治療を受けています。
Nice touch to fill us in on what's going on with the 2 people who were both willing to stay behind in his place back then. Knowing that help via very strong folks actually did turn up after a short while, but also the further mystery behind him being laid there with both his arms and legs.
覚醒後の覚醒をしたんじゃありませんか。
覚醒後の覚醒。
And now the primary focus, no doubt, on his character comes into play, and credit for, again, not dropping 5 minutes of exposition here regarding it, and instead just like 15 seconds.
どうやらかえって失礼なことをしてしまったようです。
Doing such a good job with dragging out the mystery element as his results come back as him basically having not changed at all.
それより、あの人たちはこれが気にならなかったのかな。まさかこれ、俺にしか見えないのか。
Literally, what a follow-up win to the last one. More confusion and mystery. I really like it.
その様子だともう大丈夫そうね。
Another kawaii.
確認。腕立て腹筋スクワットランニング。
Ha! I really like this. What a great twist and just a straight up cool thing to have happened.
またゲートか？
Finding out that gates can just appear in the middle of a street like this? Basically anywhere, I guess.
砂漠？どうなってんだ？夢なのか？
What a seriously awesome twist to add to the story on top of everything else that makes up this anime. It's a small detail, but I like how he's literally gone. It's not like in his mind or something. Dude managed to keep on running away for 4 hours, dude! Plus, like in the last win, he's come back with physical signs of having been somewhere else. Even looked like sand was there for a moment.
目を覚まされたそうですよ、ソン・ジヌハンター。
そうなんですか。
Made me really happy to see her be really happy after hearing the news that he woke up.
意識が戻ってから今日で4日目。いくつか分かったことがある。まず、目の前のこれは幻覚ではないようだ。
Pretty cool, first of all, that he's now following through with the quests, and that it's making him stronger, but also that in doing so, he's getting rewards that maybe make him even tougher. It's cool, dude!
状態の回復。疲れが一瞬で吹き飛ぶ。
So cool! Exactly what I was just talking about. The rewards he picks up have an immediate real-world effect.
能力値を上げればそれだけ強くなる。実際、筋力がアップした実感がある。
I'm such a fan of stuff like this, and that's definitely due to me being a huge lifelong gamer, I should think.
そして最後のデイリークエスト報酬、ランダムボックス。今日は何が出るか。鍵？
Doesn't matter how you slice it or dice it, that's pretty sick. Putting quite a fair bit of life into the scenes of the city and people going about their lives.
ゲートが出現してから見られるようになった病で、数万人に一人の割合で発症します。
Another genuinely interesting piece of lore, a disease that started affecting people once the gates started opening. A good old piece of flashback here, showing how he first came to awaken to being a hunter, how difficult it was for him, and all the while it's interspersed with him now heavily training himself.
能力値ポイント、筋力。
Simple but very cool way of showing how his strength stat is really translating into the real world. It's the key to his own personal dungeon of sorts. Let's freaking go!
手口を塞がれたのか。
The reveal that he's now sealed inside the dungeon, but also how shocking it was to see her passing through like this. Pretty great start to the battle by all accounts. One of the longest continuous motion shots I've seen in ages. Well done. Such a good looking shot. Shame I can't throw everything. He totally stuck it in the noggin of the second one just prior. Big props for choosing not to go all CGI on this foe. That's pretty rare nowadays.
まさか怖くてトラウマなんてないと思ったのに。
I think it's a nice touch to basically still have these thoughts plague him a bit. It's only natural, glad it was included. Ending the episode with just a beautifully done shot. Many might overlook it, but in the end of the day, that beast was animated fully through the scene, and they added a couple nice rotating shots too. Dude, my guy getting proper acro up in here, and I'm loving it. That's some awesome improvement from the start already. I thought the acro thing was the best, and then he went and pounded it with just his fist and caused that much damage. Let's go! Wouldn't be perfect if he became a god overnight either, so a real decent mixture between definite improvement and also being on the ropes here for sure, as it's less hurt by further attacks.
Okay. Inventory!
One of those times where I literally say out loud, "Oh ho ho!" because I didn't expect him to be able to pull a sword out of the screen that only he can see like that. So badass. Two wins here. Firstly, it's good to see him go from being brave but kinda afraid, well, more of a lack of confidence I think is the most accurate statement, and now he's much more brave. And also again, as in the previous win, it'd be boring if he was mowing down enemies left and right now. Instead, there's some degree of serious difficulty still about these missions. That feels like it's win-worthy, the first time he levels up. Let's add a win, shall we?
魔法石じゃなくてアイテムをくれるのか。俺に起きている不思議な現象。
Seriously unique of the author to come up with this. Easily could have given him gems like everyone else. Instead, due to his weird situation, he's getting items.
長期戦になれば食料が。E級とはいえ、俺一人でボスを倒すのは無理だ。その前に死ぬかもしれないけど。
So for me personally, this is decent character growth. He's still carrying trauma from that earlier dungeon, he has doubts but deals in reality too, and has more faith now in himself in general. Yeah, that's a huge plot twist right there. Totally unexpected. My tum is nervous now. Not gonna show it just in case, but he messed up quite a few of them already. Pretty much exactly what I was talking about with win number 127. That's some nice and clever writing, I must admit. Well, he's got got a new title, and from the looks of things during the last battle, about 9 new levels or more or something, so he's legit now, that's for sure. I'm impressed.
おそらく白は比較的弱く、オレンジは俺と同じくらい、赤は強いのだろう。
How they include plenty of proper RPG type mechanics into the story.
ここではもうレベルが上がりそうにないし、余計な戦いを続けると剣が持たない。
I gave him a win for getting to level 2. Would feel kind of silly to not at least give a win for level 15 now.
早い！
Aside from the nervous hype of this fight kicking off, one thing I wanted to win is how regular dungeons and his own deviate so much from the real world, allowing for some unique visuals.
それでも名前がオレンジか。
Huge new creature looking huge!
すごいスピードに体重を乗せた攻撃。奴の防御力を無効化するしかない。
Considering this looks to have done 0 damage, I'm over here genuinely confused as to how he could possibly win the battle. It's another JoJo type situation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but even this doesn't look like CGI, no? These relentless attacks only further lead me to my JoJo conclusion. What a boss fight though! Looks incredible so far.
強くなれたと思ったのに。
Brilliant choice to go slow motion like that, and they animated it beautifully by all accounts.
嘲笑われ続けたこの人生を挽回できるんだ。
They've done this a few times already, but this is the first time it really hit me. They do internal monologue alongside him speaking or shouting outside of that. Like here, it sounds real good. How is it such a JoJo situation though?
優しさなんて無意味だ。だから強くなるんだ。そのためにここまで来たんだ。
Too long to show, but his whole speech here can have a win, and I liked how he put it too. In this world with these dungeons, the only thing of real value is overwhelming strength. A whole heck of a lot of frames went into that get up there.
強くなんなきゃいけないんだよ。
No clue what happened to the dude, but my god, he looks awesome all of a sudden. Hype!
こいつなんかよやな。 能力値は筋力を中心に鍛え上げた。
One of those very rare times where I drop back-to-back wins, baby. They went all in on the animation, and again, so much credit for not leaning on CGI. It looked amazing as a result. Secondly, he basically used his strength stat in order to bear hug the thing's neck, and this was the result. But more so was the epic looking art style change on that godlike animation. So good! He's leveled up multiple times. He's beaten his foe in a logical way using the strength attribute he went all in on, and he smiled after having done so. I'm a happy boy now.
骨じゃなくて牙から作られた探検なのか。
I wouldn't be a serious RPG nut if I saw him getting a brand new great looking weapon from this and didn't drop a win. Taking the time to write out item descriptions is pretty cool of them. So good! He beat it, and now he's underground where it happened. Would have been so weird if the place was full.
ひょっとしてハンターの方ですか？
はい。
大変失礼しました。現場にご案内いたします。
Wow, he beat it, and now a passing soldier is trying to get him to join another fight right away. This is a way quicker turnaround than I figured it'd be. Keeping the action tight!
感覚能力がアップしたからなのか。感じる。あそこにいるのがボスだ。
A small part of the win is for seeing the battle spill out into the city, but mostly it's for him doing this. He's turning into a proper badass before our very eyes, eh? Feels like they really captured what some people can be like, complaining how long it's taken when people are risking their lives fighting there.
ダメージディーラーは何してるんですか?
As someone who used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, this is all right up my alley.
ヒーラーは D 級2人に B 級か。
ちょっとお姉さん
Seeing the whole battlefield like this from a distance is so damn awesome. I just gotta give it a win. Seeing everyone performing their roles up close and in the distance.
にしてよ。
I do appreciate how trauma isn't healed and over and done with the following episode. It's haunted her all of this time, naturally.
ボスは D 級。さっきまで戦ってたボスより下だ。
Bruh, the reveal that it's weaker than the boss he just fought!
強力な一撃を食らえ。
I literally said out loud, "Oh no, he isn't, is he?" As my brain was like, he's gonna throw that! That was so damn great!
俺たちやったんだ。あれ、誰が投げたんですか。あれ、
凄まじい破壊力。
They beat it, but he basically won it for them and did it in quite possibly one of the coolest ways I've ever seen, just lobbing his weapon from that distance. Dude, looking shredded!
ねえねえ、見た？見た見た。あの E 級でしょ？すっごいいい体してるんでしょ？
People be talking about my boy. They like him. This anime is so awesome. It's like what all young guys wanted from games or want from them, to be a badass, and he's doing it in real life. Kinda.
ソンジヌさん。
すいません。
いえ、こちらこそすみません。
Dude, the haircut just makes the new look complete. Complete another badass mode activated, no?
はい。
連絡先教えていただけませんか？
That really tickled me, how that was done. Nice! This put me in the frame of mind of All Might being interviewed as the #1 hero. It's a decent way of creating a power structure without having to go too geeky with a chart and all.
なんか背も高くなってない？それも筋トレの効果？大人になっても背伸びるんだ。
He continues to become more badass by somehow gaining height! The last time I felt this was covering Parasite for the other channel. It's an awesome feeling, I can't lie. Also, though, she continues to remain the height of adorable, no pun intended.
筋肉ついたのはステータスのせいだろうか。
Badass Parasite win!
よし、決めた。これでいっか。
Have a win gladly for him putting stats in something other than strength all the time.
でもいいゲートは E 級ハンターなんかには回ってこないんだよな。再審査を受けてみるか。
This raises an interesting prospect that even though he's getting insanely strong, perhaps he will still show as a rank E. Too long to show, but I liked his thinking here. No one has gone through what he has, so it'd draw potentially tons of unwanted attention, and thus he's going to keep it to himself.
C 級が4人と D 級以下が2人か。わかりました。何をしたらいいですか？
So sick how we could do this, I swear!
ダンジョン内で起こる事故に関しては一切責任を負いかねるか。どうぞ。
Speaking of realism, the trend is continued here. As you can so tell, if this was happening in our world, there'd 100% be a contract regarding getting hurt in a dungeon.
ユージンホ、21歳の D 級です。僕も数合わせで呼ばれました。
This is the first person I've seen wearing a legit sweet piece of gear into a dungeon. Looks awesome. Yet more realism behind the company looking into each gate to ensure they know which level it is for the people who will complete it. Although this one seems different, but still.
ギハン、明かりつけてくれ。
はい。真っ暗なダンジョン。カルテの神殿を思い出すな。
Things already being built in a very tense way, reminding me also of the first dungeon we saw. Makes you wonder about the bigger picture when strange things like this can happen.
昆虫タイプのモンスターです。
昆虫クソ、昆虫だと。
上だ。
He's gotten so frigging cool though!
こっちだ、虫けらども。
Bruh, that's such an RPG move! I love how they translate that feature from a game into an anime like this!
よし、当たっつけるぞ。
待ってました。
Absolutely brilliant mixture of CGI with hand-done animation to such a high degree. Plus the voice acting really helped to sell it as such a great scene.
No. もどかしい。
Oh my god, so cool! Just casually kicking it from behind like that and wrecking it!
今のなんすか？爆弾ですか？
ギルドマスターがトレーニングしてるんだ。
It's something I've mentioned before now, but this is basically a clever way of doing a building power structure without having to, as I said before, make a literal chart or whatever. It's not an animated montage, but I still appreciated getting a better understanding of what it's like in a dungeon when you're not fighting, such as taking a break and eating and chatting and so on.
歴戦のパーティーなのにヒーラーがいない。数合わせも必要。
Ah, a very good building mystery right there. Maybe they take out weaker members so they don't have to split the goods or something? Okay, now I'm seriously hyped.
ジヌさん、サインした契約書を見せてください。マナ鉱石は出土品で戦利品じゃありませんから、7等分じゃなくて8等分するべきじゃありませんか。
I like this lad, but I have a strong feeling he's not going to make it out of here, and it's at the hands of these guys. Just a feeling though, but it's slowly building a narrative.
ダンジョンボス。
ご存知でしょうが、ボスを倒すとゲートが閉ざされます。
Well, that is absolutely disgusting looking.
装備を取りに行ってきます。
ボスの部屋なのに僕とジヌさんだけですか。
刺激さえしなければもうしばらくは起きないでしょう。
だけど
It's all coming together now, bit by bit, but still doesn't make 100% sense to me. Maybe their plan is to let the boss take out the weaker members, so there's less shares, and they can't be done for the crime?
いつもって言ってたってことは C 級ダンジョンは何度も経験済み。
キュハン、ボスの部屋の入り口を塞いでしまえ。
Brilliant turn of events. This anime is so good when it comes to rising the tension super quickly. It's good to also see this side of the equation with dungeon raids with scum like them.
たまにいるんだ、ろくでもないやつが。危険な仕事だから事故なんて日常茶飯事だろ。
The last win creates another here as we see a flashback with this guy, and it just made me appreciate him so much more because he really was a great leader.
いずれにせよ下手に動けばすぐさま俺たちを殺す勢いだったよ。
How we find out here that he has been sus this whole time and keeping a close eye on things.
俺が倒すよ。
It's been said quite a few times now in various ways, but totally and completely badass.
このボスは間違いなくあいつらとは比べようがないほど強い。
It's good for trauma purposes, but also from a realism standpoint that he still doubts himself here to a degree, although he knows he will have to fight it regardless.
C 級ボスの前でも萎縮しないほど俺は強くなったんだ。
That's just some plain old good character growth right there.
やってみるだけある。ハンターがハンターと呼ばれる理由。
That reaction from him, but also the physical effects from how fast he moved, just then catching up to him.
本当の狩りの始まりだ。
So sick! The fight proper now starting! That right there was a good-looking fake continuous motion shot where it looked to not break away from the action, but it did sneakily. Very nice. The reveal that there are hunters out there who are able to hide their true rank and in the process tend to be kind of crazy or something.
そんなのを隠し持ってたのか。
How they did the physical aspect of the poison is probably one of the best I've ever seen in an anime.
懐へ飛び込む。
Two wins here. Firstly, I must admit the way the studio has handled the animation and effects when a skill is used is absolutely top notch. Secondly, it's because his attack still hasn't hurt it in spite of hitting the eyes area, creating a total JoJo situation again! I know I already wins the voice acting, but seriously, he deserves a follow-up here. Such a great performance from him. Real anti-anime win there. You know if someone says, I'm gonna go faster and attack, that's what they're gonna do. But here, his stamina maxes out and he's hit instead. And that right there gets Max wins, firstly for the mystery element of the full recovery, but secondly for breaking through the armor at last, and it all looking so good too. Him winning the battle in elegant style there at the end, and all thanks to the amazing paralysis effect that kept triggering as he hit it.
デイリークエストの報酬 もらうのを後回しにしておいてよかった。
Ah, now it makes sense. It was a crest reward. Nice!
水ですが、どうぞお飲みください、兄貴。
兄貴って？
He was a nice lad anyway, so not saying anything about that. But very funny how his whole attitude changed there. Isaac Netero totally being an Isaac Netero, even more so because he's the head hunter in a way too.
お前にはその共犯になってもらう。そうしたら見逃してやろう。はあ？お前、そいつの肩を持とうってのか？
Good on the lad to be brave here and side with him, likely not just due to his strength he showed during the battle, but because he can see what kinds of men these people are.
緊急クエスト？何なんだこれ？
The mystery continues to build as he strangely gets a quest right away to take these guys out in order to protect himself.
そうにしてんじゃねえよ！おら！
Excellent looking damage effects there as all the blocks go flying, reminding me of Midoriya vs Todoroki or recent great animation in Frieren and Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2.
リージー
Tons of ridiculously kawaii ladies in this one!
私たちが全員で苦戦していた永久モンスターを
Nice to see some of these super high ranked people also wear some really sick looking armor too.
これは偶然でも善意でもない。システムが必要としているんだ。
Yes, but why? And what system exactly? So many questions and so far a nice spacing out of answers.
パラレル覚悟ができてるはずだよなって聞いてんだ。
ドンソクさん、俺がやります。
Obviously that looked slick, but it also serves as a reminder of how what we see and what he sees is not what they do. They aren't seeing the stuff fading off of his body.
人類最弱兵器さ。
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So simple, but so well done.
強者だけが生き残るのであれば
2 wins again. Firstly, that music sounding real good. Secondly, this look from him and him giving a vocal performance similar to Eren in Attack on Titan. Really gotta drop max wins for that. The music is great, the shock and awe from all involved as he takes them out, the animation looking clean and crisp, and, well, everything. Easy max wins, that is.
ファンさん、あんたは強い。
Stupidly good. It's so good it should be ashamed of itself. Definite win for how he denominated the last dude too. Interesting to show us that pretty much as soon as they got back outside, they're being spoken to by an official.
どうかしたんですか？
いや、傘は持たせてよかったなって。
Nice callback to the start of the episode, and it kind of shows at the same time how much his life has changed since this morning. Very much hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider checking out my Patreon linked below if you want to help keep the channel going. You can also vote in what I cover. You can also subscribe. See you! Darth Weirdo, Fidgy, Nick Wyndham, The Element Taylor Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Mini Masher, Marquez, Nozomi, Orkeeper, Otar Bandanisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brandon Creer, Brian Bayard, Cameron, Christian Tavasa, Commander Cyrus, David Mayer Olmos, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Aaron Winters, Guru, James Tafoya, Jor Edvinson, Kevin Halston, Cumfroy, Kylie Welp, Luis Benito, Mr. Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Satoko Yari, Zionx 44, Sean, Starkip, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Ajoka, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Amadillo, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante Soul, Dante's Face, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Devon, Dragon Defender, Iso, Francie, Garrett Vermeesh, Gibbs, Hoth Lowe's Ritter, Hunter Miranda, Isel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Jaffa 6263, Kai Wolfspring, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevin 102, Knuckle Duster, Kai 158, Kyle Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gugati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Matthew Blancett, Michael Lewis, Motivirum, Mudini, Mr. Fire Cool, Nathaniel Gregamosa, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, Novagaum, 9028, Ollie the Mighty, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Haloran, Q-Flash, Chris Harris, Ryan DeVeries, Psychomi Aorum, Sarcastic Truth, Snowy, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, Thrasher 340, Will Sass, Willy Man.